Alright everybody, it is Saturday morning, which is arm day for us, and then tomorrow, Sunday, is our rest day. I'm like, we've been training in the morning, we were training in the afternoon, now we're training in the morning, and like, I'm super stiff, and it just takes some time for your body to adjust training at a different time. So I'm excited for it to adjust because I'm tired of feeling stiff going to the gym. But today's an arm day, so it's a little bit less taxing than like legs or back or something like that. So yeah, that's all I gotta say about that. So don't know how much I'm gonna film, not really sure on that one, but we're headed to the gym right now in Springdale to train some arms. Here we go. Alright y'all, just finished the arm workout. Like I said, didn't film anything. However, I did do a really good burnout for triceps that I'm gonna explain now in case you wanna try it on your own time. So the fixed easy bar curl rack, most gyms have them. They usually go from like 20 to like 110, 120 pounds. It's a fixed weight on an easy bar, And what I'll do is I'll do skull crushers with that using a closed hand placement, and then I'll basically run the rack. So today, for instance, I started at the 50-pound bar for 22 reps, and then I moved up to 60 pounds, just basically increasing by each bar, going heavier as I go. Then I did 60 pounds for 20 reps, and then I did 70 pounds for 18 reps. So going up in weight by 10 pounds and down in reps by 2. And then I went and progressed all the way down to 120 pounds for, I was supposed to get 8 reps, but it's more like 5 because those last 2 sets were pretty brutal. So yeah, definitely recommend doing that. I just do that by itself, I do it solo, I don't superset it with anything. It's pretty brutal, so get a really good pump, really focus on the contraction and go all the way down past your head instead of just like, you know, partial repping it. But yeah, that's one of my favorite tricep burnouts. Highly recommend that. I'll catch you in a little bit. What's up everybody? There I am saying what's up everybody yet again. So I haven't gotten hardly any footage today. I didn't film the workout. Today's my client macro update day, so I spend the vast majority of the day working on clients' macros. So I was racking my brain what to do for film, for footage, and Crystal orchestrated this like couples Q&A thing. So we're doing like an Instagram live Q&A on her phone, and I figured I'd go ahead and get the footage for the camera as well for the YouTube channel so that people could go back and watch it. So it's kind of one of those frou-frou cheesy videos, but
people have already had a lot of really good questions, so
we are going to talk about nutrition stuff too. So
yeah.
I mean, I don't even know what the questions are, like I'm going in blind. So if you like this kind of stuff, stay tuned. If you don't like this kind of stuff, the normal vlog will resume tomorrow or Monday. Tomorrow's our anniversary, so we might not do too much filming tomorrow, but we'll be back in business soon. So we're starting this Q&A right now. What's going on?
Cool.
I've never done live before.
I haven't either. This is a new thing for both of us. Can you guys, I mean, is this working correctly?
You should be able to hear.
Yeah, but someone will tell us.
They'll tell us.
Hi! Oh,
so weird.
Neither one of us have done this. Okay, she said yes.
Right,
okay, if I turned my camera to the side, would that work?
Why do we need to turn it to the side?
I mean, I don't know. I guess I like to cuddle up next to you.
Alright, I'm also filming this on my camera too, so this could be on my YouTube channel. So we're just double whammy here. So, we're just gonna dive into the questions, I guess.
Yeah. Favorite brands of keto goods. There's some up here already.
There's questions up here. So, what are your favorite brands of keto goods?
I love Keto Brownie.
Keto Brownie's good.
Keto Geek.
Keto Geek is good. I always try and like have some basic rules of thumb when I'm looking for keto foods. Like it's gotta have obviously more fat than anything else, and I'm really hesitant for the carbs. Like generally speaking, if it has more than 5 grams of carbs, I put it back on the shelf. I'm a little bit more lenient with insoluble fibers, so like I'll do that oat meal, and that's got, you know, a lot more carbs, but mostly it's pretty low.
I was like halfway listening to you and halfway reading the comments. I'm really pumped to do my prep. Really excited about that. I've been wanting to go live, but it like makes me nervous. I don't know.
We have questions here too. Should we jump into these questions?
Yeah, we'll start these ones. Okay, first of all, how did we meet?
So I moved to Washington. How did we meet? I got a job after I graduated college in Washington State, where she was living, And then I worked for the railroad. I was in management at the railroad. She worked as a barista at a coffee stand 2 blocks up from the house that I purchased. Hey, Keto Connect on me. And so she was working as a barista in a coffee stand 2 blocks up from my house, and I started drinking a lot more coffee once I saw the cute barista.
That is how we met. How long have we been dating?
Tomorrow is our 2-year anniversary. So December 3rd, tomorrow's 2 years anniversary.
But we actually went on our first date 3 years ago in January.
Yes. Is that a question from here? Yeah.
Yeah. This is Jack, by the way. This is my dog.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen him already.
Yeah.
Okay. What did we see in each other? Starting off with some cheesy questions here. Sorry.
Yeah.
For the people who are looking for more in-depth stuff.
I'll let you do some talking. What did you see in me? Besides my big biceps, you know.
Actually, guys, I was like totally not into like Robert's body type or like anything about what he was doing. But I don't know, he was just like so smooth, and so I don't know, I just fell for him. But when we went on our first date, that was actually like the best date. We just had like real, like genuine conversation, and I don't know, you were just like deep, you know? And then like as I got to know you, I realized like all of the strengths that you had, and like you're just, I don't know. When you like pick something, you do it, and you don't like quit until you're done, you know? Yeah.
And she was just like the most selfless person I'd ever met. Like she was super sweet, super selfless. Like she genuinely cared about other people in a way that I'd not seen in anybody else before. So that was, I don't know, I looked at her and I knew that her strengths would complement my weaknesses. Not that I don't care about anybody, but yeah, she just complimented me well. So yeah. Future plans?
Yeah, there's a couple of those same questions. We'll see if we have anybody.
This can be kind of hard to manage, these questions and these questions.
Yeah.
A lot of questions about your prep. How often are we going to change your macros? So macros change weekly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm doing her macros. I'm going to treat her like all my other clients. I change macros every single week to keep the body progressing.
Someone asked why I chose figure over bikini. My body actually, I've gained muscle pretty easily, and bikini is a lot of show. So there's a lot more of like flirting on the stage, and like I don't know. It's just a type of what do you say?
It's just the style, you know, like her style is less showy and more like
I really just wanted to show all the work that I had put into my body, and with figure there's a little bit more muscle involved and a little bit less of like showing and flirting, that kind of thing, and both are really awesome. Both are great you know, positions to be in, but I just chose figure for myself just because I thought that was more me. Even though I might be a little bit on the smaller side, who knows? I don't know what I'll be like compared to with those girls. I've never been that lean before, so I don't know what I'll actually look like. But
she's got a lot of muscle though. Have you seen her lats? Her lats are insane.
That's why I chose figure. Let's see. Okay, so we have some more questions down here.
Future plans.
Future plans for...
I don't know if that involves like competition, so her future plans competition. And then we've got, you know, like for me, the business stuff, I probably won't compete again until 2020. I like to take a couple of years off in between shows, so next show for me will be 2020. We're probably going to compete together in 2020. That's kind of like the tentative plan. We're going to do a lot of, like, I'm working on Keto Brick right now, making that a viable product. I'm working on clothing, kind of, mostly Keto Brick. And then we're going to do a lot of traveling. So next year, probably the end of next year or the very beginning of 2019 is going to see us traveling a lot. Like the main priority right now is just building the brand, building the network, and showcasing what keto is and how it can be used. So we're just going to like, should we tell them a little bit about our plans, traveling detail? No? Okay. It's going to be pretty big though. We aren't even sure yet. It's going to be pretty big though, so y'all get ready for that.
We're excited. We're very excited. Okay, did you already say something about cutting? What do we do when we cut? So when you're cutting, you're pretty much going from like a higher calorie diet to a lower calorie diet. In my cut, I think we've kind of broken it down to what it should be like, and I'll be cutting about 1,000 calories. I have a lot of information, and I'll continue updating on my YouTube of just like what I'm eating, what my macros are. Week by week, I'll be telling you guys exactly what I'm eating, all that kind of information. And then you also are increasing your cardio so that you're burning, you know, the extra body fat too. So you're decreasing your calories, you're increasing your workouts in a sense.
Yeah, but we probably won't even introduce very much cardio for her until later down the road. Mm-hmm. You want that initial momentum to come from nutrition alone. Mm-hmm. The training itself, like the weightlifting, stays pretty constant throughout. What do we got here?
How much do we cut? That's kind of
depends
what
on
I
the
just
individual.
said. Yeah. You have like, you want to get down to a certain percent of body fat. For women, it's a lot higher than the men. So you just kind of keep cutting until you get to that place that you need to be.
Apple cider vinegar.
Won't that hurt your metabolism?
Wait,
I'll let you answer that. Won't that hurt your metabolism, cutting that many calories?
No, like everybody's different. As far the question for everybody that didn't know is, will cutting that much in calories hurt your metabolism? I've got a hard floor at 1,300 calories. I don't take any of my clients below 1,300 calories, and I don't keep them there for very long. And I try and start at a very higher caloric intake so that we can gradually taper that down and not mess up their metabolism. I've worked with some people in the past who came to me and they were like below 1,000 calories, which is just dangerous.
Crazy.
That is going to mess up your metabolism. I mean, the human body is not designed to operate at that low of a caloric intake for an extended period of time. So you want to start high, taper down gradually, but don't stay down that low. There's a lot of science that goes behind it, but yeah, you don't want a short-term cut is not going to mess up your metabolism. Mm-hmm. With keto especially.
Yeah. How many days a week do you guys train?
5 or 6.
Yeah.
When we're in prep, it's like 6 or 7.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely increases. What do you guys think of calories in versus calories out? Great question.
Calories in, calories out. So that kind of was made popular by like flexible dieting, and I don't know. They kind of look at flexible dieting. For those of you who don't know, is like it's basically calories, a calorie. And as long as you hit your macros, you're fine. You can get those calories from whatever source. That's not the case. More science comes out, the more that's illustrated. But yeah, calorie is not a calorie. So I mean, like 20 grams of carbs are going to react much differently in the body. It's going to be metabolized much differently in the body than 20 grams of fat. So I am not in agreement with the whole calories a calorie mentality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's next? Apple cider vinegar, AM or PM, how much? I don't do apple cider vinegar, that's all.
I do. I do a tablespoon a day, and I just do it right before my workout. So if I work out at night, I'm doing it at night. If I work out in the morning, I'll do it right before my workout in the morning. So I don't really, apple cider vinegar, some people believe in it, some people don't. I just would do my research, kind of figure out what works for you, and that's just what I figured out that works for me. I really like it.
As far as apple cider vinegar goes, in my opinion, when she drinks apple cider vinegar or when she eats a pickle, it's like an additional 20 minutes added on to the next kiss she gets from me because her breath stinks.
I make sure to drink a lot of it and eat a lot of pickles. Do we have siblings? I have 4. I have 3 sisters and a brother, all older. I'm the baby, and Robert. Robert has 1 younger brother.
Yep, Tyler. He's been in some of the videos.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Totally opposite.
Yeah.
Totally opposite.
How
many kids do we want? Shoot, that's put me on the spot here. What if I don't want any kids?
Well,
Wait, Benny Schaefer, why is Robert so much weaker than Benny? Do you think he has a plan to catch up, or is he too far behind? Benny?
Oh, gosh.
Do I not have to show you on video, man? Every single time we live together, I outlift you, bro. So
I don't know, Benny. I'm rooting for you, man.
What about carb loading?
Kids. I don't know. We haven't decided, but I think if we do have kids, 2 or 3.
Yeah, I guess we'll play with that number.
I don't. Well, that's later on in life.
What about bicarb loading? Have either of you tried that?
I have tried carb cycling. And I did horribly with it.
You might be talking about sodium bicarbonate. You just said sodium bicarbonate.
Oh, yep, sure enough.
So I don't do sodium loads. I just pretty much have like a number that I've come to from self-experimentation, which is about 4,000 milligrams of sodium for me, and I just have that consistently throughout the day. I've heard of some people having that salt load right before training, which if you're deficient in salt up to that point, by all means, that would be beneficial. But if your system is saturated with the sodium, then there's no need, in my opinion.
If we had to choose a place to eat at fast food, where would it be? First of all, we don't eat fast food. We don't ever stop at McDonald's, Jack in the Box, like any of those places. We would rather fast than go to any of those. If I had to go to one of those, I probably would just get a black coffee. And if...
Those are boring answers.
I know, but it's honest. That's what I would do. But if we had to choose like a
Chipotle, you can go get like a
Chipotle,
keto like taco salad minus the shell.
And like Subway, and I don't know, going to the grocery store is literally just as fast as fast food.
A gargantuan unwich. I get some of those on occasion.
Those are good.
Do you take supplements? If so, what? Supplementations for me is super minimal. Her too. Like I'll take a creatine monohydrate. I'll take my electrolytes: sodium, potassium, magnesium, calcium, and then creatine monohydrate occasionally. I think I already said that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll sometimes experiment with the BHB salts, the esters. Like I'll play around with different stuff, but as far as like day-to-day use, yeah, my electrolytes, creatine, sometimes branched chain. That mostly when I'm cutting, not really in the off season.
I don't really take any supplements actually, other than just like my regular electrolytes, just to get those in. But I am, now that I am like starting my prep, just so that when I do get down to like a calorie deficit, I'll be fueling myself with the good stuff. Yeah. Thoughts on weekly carb refeeds?
Against them.
Yeah, totally against them. I actually tried it a while back. And I hated it, and when I had my carb refeed, I would like totally binge on the carbs that I had, and they were awful. They were like super high in sugar. They were awful, and I felt miserable. I actually journaled it, and I like documented how I felt, and like the next day I just felt completely sick. I would be up all night like dry heaving. It was just not good. I know some people like it, but if you're gonna be keto, just be keto. There's no carbs involved if you're doing it for the right reasons.
The longer you're adapted, the better you get at not needing the carbs. Like the longer you go without having carbs, the easier it is to not introduce them or reintroduce them, and the more efficient you perform with just the ketones and the fat. Like I've been keto for 3 years. She's been keto for 1 year. She had a crazy sweet tooth, and now she doesn't even crave the carbs anymore. Like the more...
a year and a half now.
Really? The longer you're in, the more efficient you become. Like my pumps are better now without carbs. I mean, everything's better. Like you just continue to adapt, and it continues to become more and more efficient.
Someone asked, what food do you miss most on keto? And I think we can both agree, cereal.
Yeah, I had a podcast with somebody the other day though that's making a keto cereal, so that'll be good. I tried to make the pancake with Quest and eggs, and it was too eggy. Any suggestions?
Add more Quest.
Add more Quest.
Or heavy cream.
Yeah, heavy cream or butter, almond flour, or you can like just smother the thing with almond butter or like Walden Farm syrup. That totally covers up any eggy flavor you get. What about the next one here?
That's the same question. Oh, Crystal. Okay, so they asked do you guys ever cheat? If you mean cheat by going over your macros a little bit, yes, we do. Only in the off season, but we don't eat carbs ever. Someone asked me when I started lifting if it was after I met Robert. It was after I met Robert. Before I had been like more of like a cardio bunny / not working out. And they asked when I first started seeing results, and honestly, within the first couple weeks. My body reacted really quickly, and at that time I was pretty tiny. I was like a skinny fat, and so it was like, it just like my muscle built really, really quickly. So I was one of the lucky ones that really got to see those results quickly.
That's pretty common. The beginner gains is like,
yeah.
What's what keep you motivated to keep coming. The keto bar, when is it coming out? The suspense is a killer. Good question. So the keto brick is coming out. Hopefully, I don't know. I'm learning as I go on that one. I've kind of got like a really, really bold and aggressive, unofficial launch date of the first of the year. But that's if it all goes perfectly up into that point. If I run into some, roadblocks with like legality stuff, I'm gonna have to, obviously abide by, legal rules. So hopefully the beginning of the year, but it's gonna be small batch initially. There's not gonna be like a huge stockpile of it, so it's gonna be pretty low supply until we're able to, scale up. So I'll definitely keep you posted.
Someone asked if we thought it was necessary to track our macros. If you are a non-athlete and you don't have many goals in mind, it may not be necessary, but it may be necessary to make sure that your food is in the right ratios for the ketogenic diet. But as like athletes and people who like have specific goals every week, every month, every year, I definitely think it's necessary to count your macros. We are never not counting macros.
If you're totally happy with where you're at and you're not complaining and you're comfortable and you're pleased, then keep doing what you're doing instinctively. The beauty of keto is that it's so instinctive. If you have a specific goal in your mind and you're trying to recomposition your body, then take as many variables as possible. And for me, that means tracking my macros and knowing where those are coming in at.
Yeah, and every once in a while, I'll get a little overwhelmed with it all, and I think for me mentally, sometimes it's good to have a week where I don't track, but then I get right back to it.
Another question, single people with no workout partner.
Yes.
What do you do? All right, so my first year of working out was in my dad's shop using tractor weights and pieces of steel that I had laying around, and I didn't have a workout partner. Occasionally I'd get my brother to come in and like spot me on chest or something with a homemade bench that I made out of an ice chest. So if you don't have a workout partner, then keep killing it,
Yeah, when I first started, actually, I preferred to go by myself because I was super intimidated by every single person. I would either go by myself or bring my sister along, and I loved it because I could go in there, I could put my music in, and just kill it. And take before and after pictures.
Somebody said love the beanie. Thumbs up.
Yeah, take before and after pictures. That is your motivation. Like, measure yourself. You have to be the reason that you're doing this. So if you're not the reason that you're doing it, if you're not doing it for yourself, then it's going to be a lot harder. But if you are doing it for yourself, it's going to be easy to go in there day after day and to do it,
Question about breastfeeding.
Yes.
So I'm breastfeeding, can't cut calories that much, also doesn't track macros for keto. She's been doing keto for 2 months. What do you do? I can't speak from experience on that one. I haven't breastfed lately. You?
No. But I think at that point, if you're unhappy where you're at, I would definitely start tracking your macros. I know that it can be a pain for some people, but if you're unhappy where you're at, and you want to make sure that you're getting enough for yourself and for your baby, you really only need, I think it's like 300 calories more when you're pregnant or breastfeeding for your child. So I would definitely look that up and just try and stay in that same range, or mess around with the ratios. If you're eating a lot more protein, maybe lower the protein and up the fat. That would just be my suggestion, is kind of look into what you would need for your body specifically.
Somebody asked, what do we think of keto gains where proteins are a little higher? So keto gains, I honestly haven't spoken with keto gains group that much, but I do know they advocate a much higher protein ratio. For me, my optimal ratio is like 80% fat, and the majority of my clients also operate with a higher fat rate. And it's honestly an individual basis. Like, you have to kind of just test and see what your body works best at, because I have clients that do perform better with a higher protein. But me personally, and the majority of the people I work with, we all perform better with a higher fat ratio. So I advocate more fat for sure. In fact, when I did a higher protein ratio, I saw adverse effects. So I don't even advocate a higher protein.
And I agree with him as well. Someone said you've been keto for about 9 weeks. Love it, but still hungry regularly. Honestly, I was hungry for so long. It did not just click for me with keto like a lot of people does. I don't know what it was, but one thing I will say is up your fat. your fat is what is going to make you feel satisfied and full, whether that's a fat bomb or you want to put more cream in your coffee, whatever it is. But that is what has helped me kind of stay full, and it didn't click for me all of a sudden. It took a couple months for me to actually feel full on keto.
It does take some time to get creative. Somebody here asks, with prep, what does it take to get to stage, including carbs or less carbs? So carbs.
Do we incorporate carbs or do we not? That's what they're asking.
Yeah. So my carbs, like right now, my total carbs are set to be at 20 grams, and I'm in the full-blown off season, and I taper from that when I'm prepping for a show. The highest I'll ever really get is 40. I never go above 40 total carbs. I have before, but I can tell, very quickly that I don't operate better with higher carbs. So I try and keep carbs less than 20 total carbs and taper from that point.
Mine are normally 20 as well, and I typically try and keep it under 20, and then I think later on in my prep I'll be under 10 a day, which is super easy for me. What are your main fat sources? I get bored sometimes with so much coconut oil and butter.
Keto Brick, little plug there.
For real. Keto Brick, fat bombs. We can have dairy, so we actually drink a lot of coffee, as we're drinking coffee right now. So heavy cream, butter in your coffee. A lot of our meats, we get fattier meats. What else?
Yeah, fattier meats, the coffees,
you can add,
the fat bombs.
You can add lard to whatever you're cooking. That's a good way of getting it in.
Honestly, like the coffees are super easy. I mean, even if you have a dairy intolerance, you could use like MCT powder or something. But like if I'm ever, shy on my macros, and I'll incorporate a coffee to hit it just perfectly. Like that's kind of like my safety, filler macros.
Yeah, and honestly, unless it's in my fat bomb, I don't ever use coconut oil, like ever.
Yeah,
I just don't have that much anymore.
Somebody asked, how did I know he was the one? And I'm assuming they're talking about me being the one for you. What was the answer to that?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I knew way before he knew that he was the one that I wanted to be with. I don't know. I'd never felt that way about someone before, and I really fell in love with him quickly, and yeah, I don't know what it was. He's just amazing. That's all.
Let's see here.
The person that asked about the breastfeeding, someone else said that there is a moms group with babies and breastfeeding. Not sure of the name, so. Hey mate, did you prefer a higher fat month or the protein month during the hypertrophy experiment?
Yes, definitely preferred the higher fat over the higher protein, without doubt.
Yeah, and he's a much better person, like more awake on
I was like really tired fat. For whatever reason.
What's your favorite fat bomb? Honestly, mine's the cheesecake. Like cream cheese, and it's so good. Butter.
I'm gonna have to say Keto Brick on that one.
Oh, gosh. Do you eat avocados? I hate avocados. I could not hate them more.
I gotta talk about avocados. I love avocados. You get 1,000 milligrams of potassium per avocado, which is really good for electrolytes. However, since I track total carbs, most avocados have quite a bit of total carbs, so I tend to not eat that many avocados. A lot of people that do, that's where they're getting their electrolytes from, their potassium from. So if you skip the avocado, then fill that with something else like the Zip Fizz. I'm always talking about the Zip Fizz.
The Keto Brick, I really hope that everything works out well for us to be able to ship
to Canada.
Yeah, to Canada. We have clients in Australia and
shipping's
all
gonna be
over
high
the
though.
place.
I mean,
It will be high.
Shipping's gonna be high. Shipping that overseas in north to Canada. So.
Oh, you guys are so cute. Thanks. Okay.
So
do you guys
net
count
carbs or total carbs? Total carbs.
Total, all the way. Is the Keto Brick in the making?
Yes.
Yes,
sure.
we hit on that a little bit earlier, but it is coming out. We are trying to get it out as soon as we can.
Hardest obstacle in the relationship. So we don't fight that much, but when we do, it's all her fault. That's a good answer, right?
It is not. Honestly, I think my biggest obstacle is when we first started dating, I was a very jealous person. Super, super jealous. And I had a really hard time with that, especially with him being in the fitness industry, all of that. That was really hard for me to get over. But honestly, just as like our relationship has gotten stronger, we've been together longer, I've definitely gotten over that. And working on myself day after day, I've gained that confidence to know that like I don't have to worry about that, you know?
Yeah, I've never given her a reason to ever not trust me either.
Never.
Like, I've never had a girlfriend before her.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
I guess he has nothing wrong with him, so we're gonna move on now.
No, I guess I could say something, you know? I'm pretty much perfect though. So yeah, my biggest frustration is like, I don't like allow much time for negativity, and like, so something would happen that would be less than optimal in her life, and then she would like need a little bit of time to just kind of like soak on it for a minute and then pick up and move forward. And I would just like get frustrated with her for taking any time whatsoever, and I just kind of like start like just getting irritable.
I'm typically like a very positive person, but it takes me a minute to like process it and get over it and be okay, you know?
Yeah, and at the end of the day, like I always knew she would get over it, but I wouldn't be patient enough to let her take her own time. I'd just be like, come on, you know, life's life, let's just go with it. Let's get over it and go.
You also, like we've had fights about like him working too much.
I do work a lot.
I'm a person that like likes to have my downtime, likes to have like my love language is time, and he spends a lot of time elsewhere, which is great and I love it, but at times it's hard and you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I've had issues with energy drinks before, with my nerves freaking out. Do you know if ZipFizz would do that to me also or not?
I don't think there's a little bit of caffeine in ZipFizz, but very minimal. I would just do like half a scoop or half a serving, and then see how you react, and then go from there. But I can't see it being negative.
With the pre-workouts, I do not take pre-workouts. I don't like the way that they make me feel. I never have. If I need energy, I will drink a coffee or take a caffeine pill.
I don't take many pre-workouts either, but there are a few that are good for keto. One is Sanctus Nutrition has one that has less than 90 milligrams of caffeine, and then there's another one called Do Vitamins, which is pretty clean. I think some of these ketogenic companies are coming out with their own pre-workouts. Like I know Perfect Keto has a pre-workout now. I haven't tried that one yet. Are you going to modify your training for prep? No. So her training's gonna be the same. Her cardio will be modified. Her macros will be modified, but the training stays the same. A lot of people want to start lifting lighter with higher reps when they're trying to cut, and that's a mistake. As soon as you start lifting lighter, it basically sends a signal to those muscles that hey, we don't need this muscle because we're not having to be, you know, forced to lift this heavy weight anymore. And so you start doing that, your body will start catabolizing that muscle for energy. So you want to lift as heavy as you possibly can throughout the entire prep.
Someone asked how we stay motivated when we really don't want to go. We push each other.
Yeah, and I mean honestly, like, this is just our lifestyle now. Like, it's going to the gym is literally like brushing our teeth. You know, it's just part of the day. And there's times I don't want to brush my teeth, but I always brush my teeth.
Because he wants a kiss from me.
Have you guys tried Keto Meal, the shakes? Keto Meal. That's the one from Goody Beats. Yes, Keto Meal. It makes the best pancake. Like 1 scoop of Keto Meal and 2 eggs. Mix that together. Throw it on a skillet.
So good.
The best keto pancake ever.
It's gonna change your cardio workout.
That's gonna be Stairmaster.
Yeah, I'll probably just do the Stairmaster, and we'll increase that by the amount of time and then amount of days per week. But again, we're gonna probably do that later on in my prep, not do a whole lot of it right now.
Yep.
Someone asked for advice on couples with only one of them is keto. That's a hard one. We're both very blessed that we both do keto. But honestly, when we first started dating, I had major GI issues and I was not keto. Robert was, and I thought like that sucks for him that he can't have ice cream, but he took me to go get ice cream and whatever I wanted, and I was like in support of what he was doing.
You have to lead by example. So like if you know, you're with somebody and they aren't keto, but they're seeing you, you know, improving day by day and becoming and performing better and becoming happier, they're going to want to, you know, tap into that themselves. So lead by example. You can't try and change somebody, but you can lead by example and then let them make that change themselves.
Yeah, don't like try and push it on them. Like Robert brought keto up to me multiple different times and I was really afraid of it. I was more afraid of it just like hurting my body because I was going through so much. And I finally just said, okay. And I hated it the first time. And then I gave it another shot because I wanted to. And it changed my life forever. What have you found most inspiring from each other? Robert's dedication is legit. Like, most dedicated person I've ever met in my life. To anything that he chooses to do, he sticks to it.
I like that, baby. That's mighty sweet of you.
Yeah.
Crystal, she just like, what's the question again?
What?
Inspiration from each other. So like I said at the beginning of this, she's like the sweetest, most like generous, kindest person I've ever met. Like she cares about other people in a way that I've never seen before. Like, I don't know, it's just, I can't even begin to explain it, but she puts so much attention and love towards others, and it's very admirable, very admirable.
Someone asked what our calorie intake is daily. Mine right now is 2,200 calories.
Mine's 3,000.
Where do we see ourselves in 5 years? 5 years.
5 years, I'll be 31.
Woo, I'll be 30.
I don't want to give away too much.
We don't even know, honestly.
We have big goals.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty dedicated, I hear. So
a couple goals.
I'm gonna make that happen. We're gonna make that happen.
Yeah.
We're gonna make Keto Savage a freaking powerhouse.
Do you guys eat peanut butter or nuts? I love nuts.
Almond butter is better than peanut butter.
Almond butter is much better. I used to be a peanut butter fanatic. I loved it, and I switched over to almond butter. Can't get enough of it now. We eat macadamia nuts. We stay away from peanuts, cashews. I don't know, whatever else.
Peely nuts.
Yeah, peely nuts are so good. Do you guys take in more calories than the more lean mass you put on?
Yeah, I mean, it's very gradual. Like, you know, quality lean mass, muscle mass is really hard to put on. Like, if I put on, you know, 2 or 3 pounds of lean mass a year, I'm happy. Like, that's a lot. But if you go to like a grocery store and pick up a pound of beef and you look at that, that's like that's a lot of muscle, you know? Mm-hmm. So to put on a couple pounds in a year is great. And as you get more lean mass, yes, your metabolism is going to increase, your body's going to require and demand more energy. But it's very gradual.
Yeah. A really good one. Pros and cons about working out together. This is so good. I would say pros is we are together every day. We go at the same time. This is just like we worked into our schedule. Another thing is we know each other's weights. Like I know he knows like what weight I'm gonna move up to next, what weight I'm gonna move down, what my sets are gonna be, what my reps are gonna be like. We know each other like the back of our hands. I know how to spot him, how he likes it. He knows how to spot me, how I like it. And we feel comfortable touching each other. Like you have people who just don't want to touch you when they're spotting.
And she's like a really good spotter. Like I trust her spotting me on squats when I've got like 455 pounds on my back. You know, she's qualified. And talk about the cons. Yeah,
cons is like for sure when we're fighting and like when we were like already annoyed with each other at home and then we take it to the gym. It's like it's so hard. It's so hard to like not be frustrated and just like forget that and leave that at home. It's really hard.
Train harder when I'm frustrated with her though.
Yeah.
She doesn't train hard. She kind of like just gets mad.
When I get really when I get emotional, it's like I cannot lift, and it like really pisses me off. But
when I get emotional, I lift anything.
Yeah, that's exactly him. I think we may have missed it here.
When you come into the land down under, soon, man, soon. That'll be in our travel goals.
Yes. You guys are
your best book about stoicism. The Obstacle is the Way, hands down.
That is a good one.
That's like lifesaver.
Honestly, it took him forever to convince me to read it or listen to it, and I didn't, and I finally did.
Keto Connect. How hard is it making a vlog every day? Who is a better cook? It is really hard making a vlog every day, and I'm glad I do it because it like pushes me to like force myself to find something worth documenting or something worth creating, and it gives me more opportunity to interact with everybody on a daily basis. But like today, like we're doing this Instagram right now, and I'm also filming on my camera right here, so this is gonna be my content for the day because I didn't have that much content filmed earlier. So you have to just kind of get creative.
It was hard on our relationship at first because it was like the camera was everywhere and I wasn't used to it, he wasn't used to it, but now it's just like our life, so it's become a lot easier for him to do that. Better cook?
It depends what we're cooking.
He's much better at meat.
Yeah, like I wouldn't trust her to make a steak to save my life.
I don't trust myself to make steak.
Yeah.
Or seafood. I don't like seafood, but baking is definitely my thing. But I don't know, we work together really well in the kitchen, but I think like more on the day-to-day stuff, like I do all the food prepping, and then if we have like a nice dinner or something, he'll make the meat.
Yeah. Do you coach for people just starting out lifting? Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've got all kinds of different clients. You've got all kinds of different clients.
Yeah.
Like we coach everybody. We want to be there for everybody. Like I've tried to make my niche performance bodybuilding, and that's what I love to do. Yeah, we coach anybody and everybody. Are we doing intermittent fasting? No, we do like fat fasting. So like the first 12 hours of our day will be like keto coffees. And there's a lot of hype going on right now about fasting. With fat fasting, your body, like if you're just intaking pure fat, you're not gonna impact your body's blood glucose, insulin. So you're basically getting all the therapeutic benefits of intermittent fasting for that first interval, without having to not consume anything. So that's what we do. What's the next question?
For couples working together, is it good to point out mistakes or poor form to each other? I can see where that could cause like a tension or a fight, especially if a female is saying it to a male. But this is the reason you have a partner, a workout partner, someone you can trust, because form and being on top of it when you're dealing with weights is very important. If you're starting from a low weight and you're going up to a high weight, you do not want to have poor form going up to a higher weight. And some people will say stuff like on our videos, like that was poor form, or looks great, but you might need to fix this. We know a lot of that, and like we still push ourselves, and it's sometimes not the best, and a lot of times we like to put on there like, this looks awful, but I still did it,
Yeah.
So I would say yes, absolutely. Tell each other what you need to fix, but you need to both go into it knowing that you're going to be correcting each other.
Why do guys assume that women should be able to eat just as much and have same outcome?
Yeah. So I don't know why men think that, but
eat the same much, like the same macros?
Yeah, like be able to eat the same amount for like their body and have the same reaction as a man, build the same as a man. Men and women are completely different, and then each woman is different and each man is different. It's just everybody has their own body. I have no idea why people think that or why you would ever put anybody in the same boat.
There's no cookie cutter macro plan. Macro calculators are great to start, but if you're using a macro calculator, there's a macro calculator on my website. There's a whole bunch of macro calculators. If you ever use one, that's designed to be a starting point. You can't use that and then keep it for the next 6 months, because as your body's changing, your macros need to change, and you have to treat your macros as as individual as you are, and they have to change them accordingly.
Someone said, how much is the difference between the two? I'm guessing the two of us in our nutrition. It says nutrition. And
right now about 800 calories.
Yeah, it's a calorie difference, but we eat about the same.
Our ratios are pretty similar.
Yeah, our ratios are similar, and we eat very similar foods. When did I
Juan just joined. He did my logo, by the way. You like my hat, Juan?
Yeah.
You like that?
Awesome job on that.
When did I discover keto before Robert?
So they asked if I had known about keto before or if we had found it together or whatnot. So Robert started. Again, I kind of mentioned earlier, I had my GI issues. I was going from this diet to that diet to the other that all these doctors were putting me on. And then Robert actually said, like, you're going to get diabetes on the diet that they have given you, and you should try keto. So I tried it and I really, really hated it. And then I was really like, I just had no other option. So I tried it again and it has changed my life. We changed a few different things about it for it to work. Do you guys eat sardines, and do you think they're important?
Sardines are great. She doesn't like them. She didn't like any kind of fish because she's weird, but sardines are really good for lots of reasons. You're gonna get, your omegas. You're gonna make sure you get the ones that are packaged in olive oil, not soybean oil or anything like that, but you get a lot of your olive oil, your monounsaturated fats. Plus, they don't require refrigeration. They're in a can. I get the Wild Planet sardines. I buy those in bulk, and then I just have them scattered. I've got them in my truck, I've got them in my house, I've got them in my gym bag. Whenever I'm in a pinch, need some, fats and proteins, I get some sardines.
Mm-hmm. What am I cutting down to for my contest? If my lean body mass is 108, 110, I'll be getting down to about 120, give or take how my body is reacting throughout this whole prep, but
there's no weights. Like you can't go into it with a certain weight. Like you have to really just look at the composition. Like
right now I'm 146, so it'd be about 26 pounds if I got down to 120.
Teresa asks, favorite apps or devices you use to track markers and progress, and what do you think is important to track? So I use My Macros Plus for tracking macros. She uses MyFitnessPal. I think My Macros Plus is
it is better. I haven't switched over yet.
Eventually, I want to make my own macro tracking app, but that'll be a little bit down the road. But I use Heads Up Health to track like all my metrics, which is super, super cool. I definitely recommend y'all check out Heads Up Health. But yeah, that syncs up with like your medical blood draw test. It syncs up with everything, and I can put my weight in there. I do my glucose. I do my ketones, breath ketones, blood ketones. You can track any marker, and if there's not a marker that's already in that database, you can add it manually, so you can track anything and everything over time.
I would like to hit on that a little bit. I think everything is important to track. Your medical records.
As long as it's enjoyable, you don't want to be like negative with it.
And we like are crazy and we like love that stuff. And I think it's important to do like body measurements and body fat. And I like to take a record of everything. I think that's really important to be able to look back on those.
I just gotta say one thing. I'm filming this on YouTube. This is gonna be a video, and this is gonna be the longest YouTube video ever. It's like 40 minutes already.
What does your daily carb intake consist of? There's
20 grams total carbs.
Right, but what is it? Like, what's in it? Are you guys wanting to know what makes up our carbs?
Trace carbs from like almond butter.
I eat one meal that has vegetables in it. Most of the time I use broccoli.
Spinach.
Broccoli, spinach. There's a little bit in your heavy cream. I mean, just
trace carbs. I don't ever eat anything that's got more carbs than the other macros.
Yeah.
So very trace carbs. Do you test urine ketones? Are they accurate? When is the best time to test them? They're not. I don't test them. I don't even register on urine strips anymore. So urine strips are measuring acetoacetate, which is excreted as a byproduct. It's a ketone, but it basically is a result of your body producing ketones but not efficiently using them, so they're excreting them in the urine. So it's good to when you're very first starting the diet, you can pee on a strip, and if it's registering ketones, you're producing ketones at least. But after you're adapted, after honestly the first couple weeks, you'll notice you're not even showing on the strips.
Right. And a lot of people will get really down about that because like all of a sudden they're like showing ketones and then all of a sudden it goes away, and it's nothing to be afraid of. It's actually a good sign. So after about a month, I'd say just stop using them.
Yeah. Let me see questions. What do we have here?
Fat protein ratio when at a surplus versus at a deficit. Well, I've been at a surplus, and I've been having my ratios be at 75, 75, 20, and 5. And now that I've started my prep, I changed over to 80, 15, 5.
Yep.
And that's just what we typically stick to.
When did I discover keto? Wait, we already did that one.
Yep,
we already did all those.
Oh, that one, yeah.
So we done with this?
Ask more questions?
That's pretty long though. That should be good. I don't know what else. Alright, so final call for questions here. And like I said, I'm going to post this on YouTube. Hopefully it's super long, so hopefully it doesn't bore y'all. But it'll be on YouTube as a replay as well. So yeah, it's the first time I've ever done a live video. What's on your wish list for Christmas?
We are not doing gifts.
Actually, so this is really cool. I'll talk about this. So my parents, we're going to go celebrate Christmas with them. And they said, okay, so rather than doing gifts this year, we're going to give everybody a handful of $50 bills. And then we're just going to walk around and give those to people that we can tell need them. So we're not going to do gifts. We're just going to get a handful of $50 bills. And everybody that we see that needs something or could benefit from it, needs a little help, that's what we're going to do.
And we can know them too. How many hours do you work out and work?
So we work out about an hour and a half a day usually. Usually between an hour and 2 hours depending on what we're training. Work, there's no limit on that one.
There is no limit. I mean, it's a home office, so
yeah.
when you're awake,
we never
you're
leave
in
work.
there.
Juan asks favorite keto meal. Not to go with the
I'm
brick.
Yeah, but for everyone else,
Barbecue.
I've been digging this gravy I've been making, and I've been like having it on my eggs every morning, and I love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, barbecue. Hello.
What's a good keto snack? What's a good keto snack?
I love that Kite Hill yogurt. That's my favorite.
I like the cheese wisps. The
Yeah,
Cello brand
those
especially.
Are good
Those are really good.
Those are really good.
We're so
You guys are
inspiring. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So how effectively can someone do a keto diet without monitoring blood glucose and ketone levels? I track macros tightly, but not those things like you all in keto counterculture. So you don't need to track blood ketones. You don't need to track blood glucose. We're tracking that.
I don't know the last time I actually tested.
Yeah, we're tracking that specifically because we have an experiment. We're trying to control variables and just really fine tune things. But if you feel great, you perform great, you look great, who cares what your blood glucose
and
ketones
you're eating the right
are?
ratio.
Yeah, if you're eating the right ratios and you're feeling great, then you're in ketosis.
I do see you guys working a lot in your stories. Yeah, we work.
When is the keto brick coming out? Hopefully the first of the year.
Yeah.
Juan said he got the keto brick. We'll try it tomorrow. Had my daughter's dedication this weekend and haven't been able to try
Yeah, I saw a couple of pictures. That's
it.
awesome.
Very cool, buddy.
Very good.
So yeah, that's all the questions. This is long.
Robert hates this right now.
No, I actually like it. This is all right. So I've never done an Instagram live before, but I've seen other bodybuilders do it. But I'm thinking about when I do my next prep, I'm gonna just like on my 20-minute cardio sessions, just have the live going that whole time and be able to like talk to people while I'm doing cardio, which would be motivating for me too and make the time go by faster. So you could do that.
Yeah.
It'd be cool.
Also, someone asked if we worked out today. Yes, we did. We worked out this morning and we did arms.
We did arms. All right.
Oh, jeez.
Catch y'all later. Right.
Bye. Yeah.
Adios.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in. Next time.